I'm going to discuss proper fishing gear you will need for 3 different kinds of fishing. The first thing that I will be talking about is freshwater fishing. Freshwater fishing is normally used in fresh water. Freshwater fishing calls for light tackle, high proficient reels, and mostly uses lures. I prefer not to use freshwater. I prefer not to freshwater fish because I do not like spending $20, $30 on equipment. This is a basic freshwater reel and rod. As you can see, the rod is about a little taller than I am. The reel is small but efficient. The test line on this reel is roughly 8 pounds. That's number one. The second thing I'm going to talk about is a second type of freshwater fishing. This type of freshwater fishing pole is called a simple bait casting reel. The most common thing you would use this reel for is catching bass or using it in a tournament. This is mainly used for using with lures. The reason why that is because with this reel and the gears that are within this reel make baits look real and lures act like real fish. On this reel I have, again, 8 to 10 pound tests. Fishing line is measured in pressure, intensity. So when I say this is 8 pound test, I mean that this is the strength of pulling at least an 8 pound fish. Normally it can go, if you are proficient at fishing, you can reel in a 12 to 15 pound fish with an 8 pound line test, due to the fact that there are things called gears on the reel, or the intensity. The third thing I'm going to talk about is basic saltwater fishing. My favorite kind of saltwater fishing is pier fishing. I don't know why, but going out and sitting on a pier for hours and hours, catching these stupid mackerel, slimy fish, don't taste good, don't eat them. The basic setup for mackerel fishing would be a basic saltwater spin reel. This is 25 pound test, and with this I normally go for a 7.5 to 8 foot rod. Due to the fact that I want a longer rod is because when I'm out on a pier I want to extend it so when I flip cast, the bait or whatever I'm fishing with can get with on-breaking water. The normal setup that I like to use for mackerel fishing is what is called a shibiki rig. A shibiki rig is a 5-hook system with a feathered tip and a golden fly. Mackerel are pretty dumb fish. They'll eat about anything you put on here. You can put worm, gummy worm, Cheeto, French fry, hamburger meat, anything. The basic setup for this is a 5 shibiki. I would then attach this to my line that has already been eyed through all the pole eyes. I would then at the bottom attach a drop weight, which is normally 2 ounces to 3 ounces is enough to get me where I want to be fishing. I then would attach the weight and proceed to cast. Normally I only catch mackerel and I only use mackerel for bait. They will eat themselves. You can also use salt water, this pole, but I would recommend using something a little longer if you want to go surf fishing. Surf fishing is where you fish on the surf. You're catching perch, different small fish that don't go very far into deep in the ocean. The fourth thing I'm going to discuss is heavy-duty saltwater fishing. As I mentioned, I use my pier rod. I could use this on an open boat, open party, in the middle of the ocean. It's a little bulky for that, but it does work. For this, I would use a heavier weight and a leader line bait hook. Normally I would use an anchovy or a sardine. I would hook the sardine with the hook through its nose. With it on the nose, the fish still has life and can still swim. I prefer using the spinning reel over what I'm going to now discuss, which is a conventional bait casting reel. A conventional bait casting reel is a lot bigger, a lot heavier duty, and is aimed for catching game fish. Game fish can be anything from bass to Spanish mackerel to marlin to halibut to sand bass to link cod, from any large fish. As you can see, this is a completely different kind of reel. There is an open flip cast that allows me to release my line. The one problem with these is, if you are not careful, it will backflash, which means that you have to keep your thumb over the line. The other thing about this conventional reels is that the reel is not facing down, it is facing up. Normally with this, I would use a heavy weight, such as this one right here, and a large hook like this. I recently went out on a fishing trip last weekend, and I was using a 12-ounce weight and a size 4 hook. I was catching bottom feeders, which were such fish as rockfish, sand bass, and other types of bottom fishing. The main baits that you would use for saltwater fishing are either anchovies, sardines, mussels, clams, squid. I was using squid. There was no live bait due to the fact that the live bait do not tend to swim as low as where bottom fish feed. I'd like to thank you for taking the time of watching me and letting me demonstrate how to learn how to properly fish. Thank you.